We're watching right now the net income of Super Microcomputer, and I gotta tell you, very important information, very interesting. First of all, guys, remember to subscribe to Trading ST to watch more content like this. And here you have the disclaimer right here on the screen and in the video description below.
Yeah, let's go, Trinity. Welcome again. Let's start with SMCI. Very interesting chart that we have right here from the technical side. We have to mention a lot of things. Let's put the logarithmic scale. I didn't have it on, but it's very similar. The first pattern that we reached right here is this kind of cup of coffee, we can call it, of cup of tea. And you can see like the price skyrocketed from there, but it didn't last long, and we went to the lower side with a minus 69%. Current prices, we're talking about almost minus 60% more or less from that highest part of this chart. So what can you tell us about the next earnings and revenue, Alvaro? Will they be better or not? We don't know the answer, but we have the forecast.
Yeah, and the forecast, I gotta tell you guys, is very interesting. We're talking about like an estimate of 0.73. And actually, what happened with this stock is like it went down like crazy. I really like, the fundamentals. People, they think, okay, technical analysis is the only thing that matters. Not true, and not for these stocks. Obviously, you have good fundamentals, and then you have technical analysis. You have everything, but it doesn't normally go, separated in that sense. If you have a negative net income in a company, yeah, it can happen momentarily that the stock could go up, but not forever. That's the theory, obviously, and then we have the practical thing. Here, what we see in Super Microcomputer is very interesting because we have the previous quarter, the estimate was 0.81. And then when they released the earnings, which is, it was like a very dramatic change. The reporting was 0.73, way lower than expected. The stock went down, and you can clearly see the correction. Even if you deactivate the logarithmic scale, you can clearly see the correction is huge from $123 to 37. That's a almost minus 70%. So in that case, the theory of the fundamentals is correlated. But then we have the next estimate, 0.73. And then we have two scenarios. If we have the estimates like fulfilled in that sense, like they reported very close to the estimate, imagine 0.71, 0.74, I would say that would be very good for the stock because obviously we'll be talking about the best earnings ever in the stock.
Yeah, at least for this year in the quarters that we can see, it would be very similar to the previous earnings in the sense of the reported, but 0.10 higher. So we will see how that goes. Let us know in the comments if you think this forecast will be reached or the report will be very similar to the estimate or even higher, or do you think the situation will repeat again? And how do you see this correlation with the price action also? Because we always like to start those debates between technical analysis, fundamental analysis. From our point of view, you know it, we like to take information from everywhere, and then you can decide, in our opinion, the best. So in this case, let's go back to the chart again. We had during the 1st of October of this month, yeah, we had that split of 10 to 1 in the shares. You can see like the price of the shares changed. We mentioned that. How would this affect the price? At least from what we can see, the price started to go a little bit higher from that stock split, and you can see almost 20% to the upper part. So that reacted in a positive way, or maybe they are also expecting that earnings and revenue being released in a positive sense. So we wait and see how that goes. And going again, let's see the forecast section, but this time with the price of the analyst offering that 1 year price forecast for Super Microcomputer Inc. And wow, let's take a look at that because the maximum is completely insane, 170%, $130. Then the average is very positive also, 40%, $67. And then we have the minimum one, minus 47%, $25. So how do you see this price forecast? Do you think this could be or not in the upper part or the lower one, and the reasons behind it? We are very interested in knowing all your opinions as usual.
Yeah, the most pessimistic analyst from Wall Street, he thinks, or she thinks, we don't know the genre, that he is like minus 40, almost minus 47%. That's a lot. So at least that person is expecting, another reported earnings below the expectations. But on average, it's very good. More than 40%, the average, and the maximum, it could happen. I would say if we have like a report of 0.80, for instance, probably the stock should skyrocket according to past performance, because look at what happened in the past. You go, I really like to study the past in a stock, because what happened back then, the estimate, you can clearly see the evolution of the reported earnings over time, and you can clearly see the last one right here, the upturn from $33 to 120. in that at that time, the earnings were was completely huge, completely crushed. In that sense, it's like more than a 4% surprise factor. So obviously, when they were released, these earnings, the investors tried to buy as much as possible, and they pushed the price to way too high, I would say.
Yeah, this stock is very interesting. We have I have the net income indicator right there, and you can see. Let's go with the weekly time frame to see from a higher perspective. And if we amplify it to the last month since 2020, for example, for the last years, and you can clearly see like the net income started to go higher and higher each time, and the price action was also being correlated with that. And right now, this correction, very, very huge. We are talking about the movement of minus 70%, as we mentioned. So maybe that was also correlated with that latest earnings. We don't know it. But in your opinion, how do you see that? And do you think this correction has been enough? And with the next earnings, will this price start to go higher again? Because we are talking, the price was $123 during March of this year. And right now we are talking about $48. So a difference right there. Obviously, we have to take into account the stock split for the change in the price, but I think the correction of more than 70% and the current price of more than 60% is something to take into account. So, do you think this has been enough or not? Let us know in the comments below. How do you see super microcomputer for this year and for the future?
Here you have the RSI and MACD of the chart, and look at that, oversold territory in that particular moment when it was trading back in September. So obviously there are two possible scenarios, buy or sell. What do you think? Leave your comments below.
Maybe other scenario, just wait. As usual, everything in trading is possible. Train HD, we hope you had fun. Let's go, Train HD, subscribe. Have a nice week. Take care. Check out all the videos. Let's go. We love you.